join now, bro. I'm gonna try to tag a few people. I know wanted to get into this with me. Um, Homie at Monday, Ashley. There's Miss Gonzalez at. We ain't gonna say your real last name up here. I know it. You're
Yeah,
Yeah, now we there, bro. I don't know why the iPad does that. It be playing me, bro.
it happens. It happens. Modern technology at its finest. You
Fact. I just tagged a few people, so we
mm-hmm.
live, man. Um,
All right. Yeah.
so for everybody
You
that's
got, he
joining,
got me for like a half an hour. We're going to see who we going to talk to. You got some interesting stuff
well,
to talk about.
I'm sure we'll be able to cover this in a half an hour, depending on how it go.
Yeah.
So for those of y'all know who know, this is my big bro Jarrell. Um, if y'all listen to my album, he does the intro, the middle, and then the outro to my album. He has his own stuff going on, podcast, book. You got that book coming still?
Yeah. Well, the first book is out there. I already know Day by Day Volume 1. The website's been revamped. DEXDE.net. Check that out. Bow got the shirts on there. Boom. You feel me? Tomorrow, hosting the Visual Vibe Block Party Art Fest. Bow. So that's, and that's out Delaware, heavy out here. So, and one went to West 9th Street. And there's an influencers health and wellness basketball tournament for kids in the morning at the Wilmington Pal. So yeah, I'm out there. You're
And I'm glad you brought up health and wellness because that's one of the conversations we're going to talk about. Um,
mm,
so, y'all, we definitely trying to touch base on holding your parents accountable. I feel like that's a conversation that needs to be had first before we get into anything else. I feel like there's a lot of people who think that just because they're your parents, that it's okay for the behavior that they have displayed around you and how they treat one kid better than the other and shit like that. So, um, I feel like it's about to be heavy. What's good, DK? Um, I don't want to lay it on too thick, but I'm gonna let you start it off, bro. I'm gonna do it different. I'm gonna let you start this off.
well then I think the question comes, when do you start holding you well when do you start holding your parents accountable versus, I guess for me, I had to be old enough to understand why they made bad decisions, right? Like for like it's hard to understand where they was coming from, because sometimes they just did some dumb shit, or I don't say dumb shit that I disagreed with. You know what I'm saying? Um, and like real talk, I highly doubt your parents knew what trauma was. I don't think your parents thought about your mental health as a kid.
Look at that.
That sounds funny to say.
Yeah, because again, there's things that we know now due to a lot of technology that our parents didn't have, and just trying to take care of ourselves better as a different generation, right? So, but that's still no excuse because our parents know they're doing certain things wrong and they continue doing it. Like it's
But
different when you're doing that when I'm young. Go ahead. Continue.
okay, but is that them being who they are? Like, is that just who they are as a person?
It's a good question. Not if they're different with other siblings. No, that's not what they are. Now you get what we're about to go deep into this.
Okay. But let's play this game, right?
Uh,
Because in theory, right, what your kids may need is going to be different from one kid to the other. So how you may handle certain things with one child may be different from one to the other. So like that's realistic.
that's realistic, but also what's realistic is treating all those kids the same. It's definitely realistic.
How do you treat them all the same? You can't.
Okay, I'm about to let you know what I mean by that, right? So
Okay.
by treating them the same is like you don't go out and buy this one a toy and then you buy them a toy and then you're outside playing with the other one. Does that make sense? You buy me a toy, I'm playing in the corner by myself, but you're spending more time with such and such. Now that time is more important for me than you buying me said toy.
What if, what
Uh,
if said parent, and I'm just asking, right? Okay, what if said parent, in theory, that kid values the toy more for their present, right? That kid's love language is gifts of reception versus the other kid's valuing time, right?
but
It may not be the same. That's all I'm saying.
all right. So for example, we're talking about like toddlers, bro. Like anywhere like around 3, 4, 5. They don't have a love language yet. They're trying to figure it out themselves. as they go on and become teenagers and such and such. If I am 3 years, go ahead. I know you
You,
want to say something. Go ahead.
you don't think so? You don't
No.
think that? Like I can tell. Like I think that they do because I think that some kids are more affectionate than others because that's their love. Like they like that, right? Versus um just wanting to be around or the conversation or this or that, like
I
or wanting to
disagree.
do something.
I
It depends.
disagree because affection depends on the parent. If I'm walking around giving my kid all the love and the time and the energy that I have, giving hugs, letting them know, things are okay, have these conversations with them, just being around them, they're going to start to be affectionate because they're feeding off that love that you're providing for them, right?
So
So,
you're saying we create our kids' love languages?
as they get older, clearly they're going to have their own choice. But when they're younger, affection can go to any kid. They know I love my mother, I love my father. This is what I love. They're gonna start hugging you, loving on you, more wanting to be around you. When you start to neglect the kid, pushing them to the side, they're gonna want to be by themselves. Give me that toy because your time ain't nothing no more.
Yeah, I guess kids always want to be around you. Your kids. Well, my kids always like. Kids want to be around you if they feel that thing often. Um, when they're that young, they just want to play. They just want to because they're still figuring everything out.
And let's also point out this, right? Love and affection is a point important for both genders of children, right? Little
Fair.
girl, little boy, same type of affection, different ways, same type of affection. My little man,
Okay.
he knows he'll come up to me and give me a hug. He loves hugs.
Did our parents know that? Do you think our parents believed that? Like our generation, our era, any like, come on.
But then I have to raise that question to you. Why didn't they know?
Because that wasn't how boys were treated then.
So
Like
our
that's just
parents basically raised what you basically saying
I'm supposed to say
to
all, but
society standards.
of course.
Yeah, but that's
Of course.
terrible, bro. That doesn't mean society's right.
No, but
That's a
come on.
whole different.
Come on. We raise our kids like you got to raise your kids in your house. But at the time, there are certain social norms that era just went by, and that's what they believed. And yes, it was wrong, but it being wrong doesn't mean that it's not normal or what I'm saying what we saw. So now let's go back to holding them accountable. So holding accountable comes on both sides. Like I got to know that it was wrong, but I got to give the grace of you really ain't know no better, and you ain't seek no better. They wasn't trying to figure it out. Like,
But
what was an acceptable version? I got a question.
mhm.
What was the bottom for what you could have done that your parents would have been like, okay, we're that's good enough. Like that's good. What was the baseline of that would have been good enough?
That's a hard question to answer. That's definitely a hard question to answer, right? But you also got to put into perspective this, right? Three, four, five. We can't really, share those type of emotions. We don't know what we're feeling or how to feel it, right? We're young. We know we don't want to be around that person because they're mean, but we want to be around that person because they're giving us love, right? Um, Now think about this. I'm a teenager now, right? Let's say I'm a teenager. I'm displaying to my dad and my mother, this is what I want, and this is how I want to be treated, and they're just ignoring that. When I'm
Mm-hmm.
having that conversation with you, and I'm already vulnerable as a teenager, I'm going through this, I'm dealing with hormones, I'm dealing with puberty, life X, Y, and Z. It's hitting me fast now, right? Friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever the case may be, right? When I'm telling you and I'm talking to you, and I think that's the big thing, parents do not listen to their children.
That generation of parents did not listen to their children. This I think this generation is a lot better at it because again, a child was to be seen and not heard. Like Like that's just how it was. That's how they saw it, right? That whole era was just like, nah, don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't what we
You
say
you
goes.
sure you sure we listen to them? Because the stuff I see, bro, I don't. Everybody does not.
You say
And
you
say, for
show
example,
me.
I'm taking my little kid shopping, right? My son points out a Mickey Mouse shirt that he loves to wear, but instead I go buy him some Gucci because everybody else wearing it. That's not what he wants. He wants his Mickey Mouse shirt, but I'm putting him in Gucci because that's how I want to dress X, Y, and Z. And I'm looking at that as far as, am I really listening to my child?
That's not at the teenager age. Is that I don't necessarily agree with that because I do believe that a kid when they're that young, first of all, at that point they're young enough to just be as Spider-Man-y and Ninja Turtle as they want to be.
Right.
But I can but there are parents who want their kid to be fly for no reason. That's just how they feel like that's what they want to pour their money into.
Did you see?
In
Did you
that
see the
sense,
comment?
but as a teenager, I don't know if it's the same. Nah, I ain't see the comment.
Yeah, she said, children are still not being listened to. They are told to stay in the child's place.
Yep, yep.
Yep, CC. Fact.
But I think that that's where I still think that our generation listen to kids more than any prior generation
So
have.
you
Do
blaming it
you?
on the generation and just not the people who, just not the parents. Want to give my
Uh,
kids what I don't have. It's not fly. Yeah, I mean,
see,
you want to give your kids what you don't have, but again, that's materialistic things. What you have to give to your kid, period, is time. Time is something you can't get back, but you are investing in your child. Let you know that you are this important that I'm spending that time with you. I don't care if you wearing Gucci. I don't care if you wearing Louis. None of that stuff is going to matter. You're not going to be able to wear it sooner or later anyway, but you're going to remember that time I spent in the backyard playing with you. You're going to remember me taking you to the park, taking you to all different types of places. It has nothing to do with what you have on. That's what I say. As a child, as a 3, 4, 5, 6 year old, subjective. So
but now you said that the parents don't listen. As they get older, does that change though? Right? Like that age can change in that space. So I think the age range can make that a different conversation when they get older. Do you think that they get listened to more or
hold on, wait.
less?
Let me touch base on Ashley on Cece's answer. She said kids nowadays are disrespectful. Kids nowadays are disrespectful because they are not getting that love, affection, and attention that they want. They're not going to respect that person that they're just looking at as my caregiver. You're not showing them that you're I'm the mom, I'm the dad, that's the cousin. It's just hey, go play over there. You know what I'm saying? We're not listening to them, so they're not going to care. Why would I care as a child? It's going to make no sense to me. Now, go ahead
Yeah,
and say what you said, bro.
no, but and even to that point, to Ashley's point, it's the kids can be disrespectful because they see disrespectful they have to get that behavior from somewhere, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
also at times there's a lack of leadership. Like we're speaking as if it's a perfect world with two parent homes and all of this and that. Like so if that kid is being reared by another kid, like it's like how are they going to learn to be, you know what I'm saying, this other thing? Like where's that love coming from when mom's working 2 or 3 jobs to put food on the table? So
That's a
like
fact.
it kind of can. That's why the situation can make it hard.
Also, what Ashley said, kids, based off what they watch and what they learn and what they see. That's why it's also, like I said, it's important to pay attention to the things your kids do, what they like, what they dislike, and that's why they made something called parental controls too, right? So I pay attention to everything my daughter watches. Like she's 7, that Roblox stuff and all of that, I keep her off that because I know how it can be with people, kids walking up there all innocent, and then you got these girls trying to do X, Y, and Z. So you just got to monitor, and I mean, you don't want to micromanage your kids ever. You want to give them that free reign, but on top of it, you want to protect them at all costs.
Hmm.
And just based off what you said, yeah, I mean, busyness is, I get that. But I have 2 jobs and 2 kids. I just need to put that on the table right now. I work my job the same time each day, Monday through Friday. And I do music. And I still have time for my kids. Might be a little tired. I might not
Yeah,
have all the energy I would have on a Saturday and Sunday, but I can give them a good hour or two outside running around playing with them.
but you recognize that all parents aren't you, and you are still in the two-parent household, and you still work from the home. I'm not building any excuses. I'm just saying, because I know
I
what you're
feel
about
like
to say.
you
I know
are,
what you're about
bro.
to say. I'm just saying it's not always that simple. That's all I'm saying.
It's not, bro. Loving someone is simple. If I'm bringing you into this world, I'm gonna love you.
That's
Is it my decision?
okay. You win that argument. Loving someone is simple. All right, you got that one.
Guys, not
Mhm.
everyone is like me. I agree. I agree with that. That is 100% fine. But if you grew up in a rough environment and DK, you know my situation, bro. Like you know me from early. But when you grow up in certain situations, you see how you're treated. You're gonna want to treat your kids better than how you treat. And I don't mean by just giving them stuff. Yes, I'm grateful that I can provide for my kids the way that
Mhm.
I want to. They have their own bedroom. They have a yard to play. And they got a lot of stuff that they want. But what they need is me. That means I need to go take care of myself. And this is holding myself accountable too. If I know my health is declining, I need to go figure it out. I need to be here for my kids as long as possible because you know how society is. Go ahead. I know you want to say something. I see your face.
Again, I go back to you, right? Now,
Right.
for that parent who never received that love, and like, and to be completely clear, I agree with you in procedure, but that's because I know better. I think there are some people out there, unfortunately, like these people can be prideful. These people can like these people come in all varieties, I should say, but they may not know better, right? What if they don't know better? What if they don't know how? Right? This is love they never received, and they never learned how to be that caring individual. They never got that, right? That unfortunately, that's who they are, right? We're just only talking about the parent side of them, but that's just the whole default that they dealing with. That happens.
So now I'm gonna bring this question into you. Let's say, just as a, I know we're not mothers, but as a mother, do you think that having a child can change how you view things?
I think that having a child can change how anybody views,
Okay.
but it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And for somebody who isn't maternal, I think the assumption is like it always makes them. They may never be,
Yeah. That's true.
right? Like some people just don't have that thing. Like, and if
Right.
it's not, it's not.
That's a fact.
You know,
That's a fact. Well, I'm just, the bottom line is just we're about to end this topic real quick because we got a few more before this half hour run up. Bottom line is hold your parents accountable. I'm not saying bring up some shit that happened 20, 30 years ago. If you are an adult and they're still not listening to how you want to receive love, whether if it's just a phone call once a week checking in, you know what I'm saying? They feel maybe because you're an adult, they don't got to check in on you and stuff like that. It is important to keep that bond growing even after you reach
that's a
out
fact.
because you
Mm-hmm.
only get one set of parents. For some of us, we get multiple ones, but for those that get, just a set, embrace them and let them know don't be afraid to display your emotions. Let them know what hurts you, man. Like, because is this a
Absolutely.
venting session? You're gonna grow up, and it's gonna be your own little therapy session. You know what I'm saying? And we need to stop sweeping therapy under the rug like it's a negative connotation in our community. It's not. We need to go. We all need to go. One, two, three, four, five sessions. We're gonna wrap that part up though. We're
That's a
gonna have
fact.
we y'all can keep commenting and talking about that subject because I feel like it does need to be talking about a lot on this wall. So it will be shared.
That's a
Everybody that's
fact.
commenting, I appreciate all of y'all, and I will answer every single last one of you as I scroll through the comments. My iPad's acting up, so I'm just on my phone right now. And please ignore my hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Who was you backhanded?
Man,
Somebody caught all five fingers.
nah,
Yeah.
bro. I broke it in the past and it didn't heal correctly. So when I was cleaning, I banged it and it fractured. So you know how it go, man. It is what it is. But what's our next subject, bro?
You
What
got
we
the
talking
list,
about?
bro.
I
You
got the
tell me.
whole list. I got the whole list. Let me see what we talk about now. All right, we touched on the accountability. I think we need to talk about that just I just put up a segue about mental health, about therapy, about mental health. Why we not taking it seriously as men? I'm talking to the men directly, um, because in certain situations you don't feel classified to speak to a woman directly. They deal with their own stuff on their own job. So for all the men I know, why do y'all feel? And I'm asking you this, Jarrell. Why do you guys feel like therapy or taking care of your mental health and expressing yourself is negative? Why does that have to be
So
negative?
I can answer you.
Go ahead.
And I don't feel this way. I actually believe that is important to talk to somebody and express yourself. I think that again, us as black men, a lot of us are raised with trust issues, right? And raised to not be vulnerable. So that makes you soft. You're gonna say something that's gonna get you shunned. You're gonna say something that's gonna make people look at you differently. Man, you soft, dude. Why you can't just handle that? Like we are put in predicaments where we feel like expressing ourselves or being vulnerable and giving a piece of ourselves that can be used against us. Therefore, we choose to button it up. We're gonna stay silent. I ain't even gonna say no. Matter of fact, let me man up. So I was told to let me man up. Look what? Like it's that. Listen, think about it. The stigma of or being raised to think of stop crying before I give you something to cry about. You just hit me. Like I just gotta be. I think I got a whole reason to cry right now. But that's what we're raised with. So that part.
Well, you definitely answered the question correctly. Like, there's no other way to go around that, right? But okay, now that we are in our 30s, 40s, late 20s, early 20s, what type of conversation should we be having right now? Are you still caring about what people are thinking and feeling about you, or are you trying to better yourself? Like if you can't get in tune with yourself and have these discussions and figure out why you are in this place, then you need to speak to somebody. I might not be qualified to answer your questions. Somebody's trained and professional, and they get paid to do these type of things. I know you say, "Oh yeah, I'm just paying for a venting section." That's not what you're doing. Because the more you talk, the more you start to understand why you feel these ways.
Do you think that it will, like, but if somebody has trust issues with that level of vulnerability, right? Like, think about it, right? You have husbands who will never vent to their spouse because they ain't never going to say something wrong, right? And like, and again, when you're raised in that in an environment where that's treated like it's shrunken, the question becomes, how can they feel safe with somebody to truly communicate? Because that's what I think that happens, right? I think people get inside their head to the point in which they're afraid to truly communicate honestly, right? So even if they sat down with somebody, or even if they feel like, man, I talk to my homie, I don't know if you should be talking to your homie because you're not truly really getting to the, to the crust of it, right?
Right.
And that's
So y'all
different
gonna
stuff. So I don't know how you
love what I
cross that
said,
barrier. That's really the
and
question.
Jarrell gonna be raising this eyebrow at this, but y'all gonna love what I got to say about this, right? So, the bottom line of it, even if it's just with a spouse, right? You need to maybe sit down and have somebody intervene, whether it's a therapist, couple counseling. You don't have to be married or engaged to go to couple counseling. If this is the person you want to be with, you sit down and you make that effort and use that time to try to figure out the root. That might be the segue to you guys communicating, and then sooner or later, it's like riding a bike with training wheels. You're going to notice that person's not there to intervene, but you guys can now talk to each other. We need to get out of that mind state where, if I say this, they're going to think X, Y, and Z. F that. None of them either are paying your bills, taking care of you, and they're not going to hit you up if something wrong. They put the say RIP and put you on a shirt and free my guy, but once you out, you think they caring about how you feel? No. So stop caring about what these other people are saying as far as, oh yeah, he's soft because he just cried a little. My grandmother just died. I don't care about none of that. Like, what are we talking about? I'm letting that out. That's how I'm grieving. Everybody doesn't have to walk around with the tough guy because you're grieving that way. For what? You're hurting. Let it out.
So the problem is, right, it's not always what that they worry about, that everybody's worried about what other people think, right? From what I've seen, it's also at times that's just what they're conditioned to believe. Like, your question is, why don't they go? Why won't they try? They're conditioned to believe that these things are now fact, right? If I'm conditioned to believe this makes me soft, I'm conditioned to believe that. I don't care what nobody else say. I believe it now. If I'm conditioned to say, man, I don't need that, I don't need to talk to nobody, I'm cool. I'm cool. No, I'm hurting inside. I'm breaking inside. I'm going through all types of shit right now on the inside. But I believe, personally, I already believe now that if I express this thing, it makes me something less. You feel me? That's where they are.
So
It's
I'm a
already
counter with
here,
this.
bro. It's already here. Like, you
That's a
talking
fact.
about what?
But I'm a counter with this. Let's say I got a whole pack of organic chicken in my hand, and then I got this other off-brand pack in my hand, right? You go
Okay.
straight for the organic because you think the organic is good. Now you're sick. Are you changing your thought process? Are you changing how you approach things? Are you going to look at life a little different? If you're one track mind, then nothing's ever going to change. You got to think about it
I
like this, man.
agree with you. I just don't think that it's that simple when people are living in that situation where that's what they
That's
believe.
why we are here
And
to
and
educate.
think of it this way. And think of it, if I believe this and I'm living in this situation, you may only deal with this person in outside
Gotcha.
scenarios, right? Their whole tribe believes that, right? The people who raised them believe that. The people who they're raising are going to believe that. Their homies, everybody believes that this thing is this thing, right? Just because everybody believes, I'm not saying this right, but people become conditioned to, oh no. And black men, we have been conditioned to not trust factors and go to places and speak and not take care of our mental health. And black men have been conditioned to believe our mental health just ain't as important, quite frankly.
And it's not
So
even just our mental health, physical health too. That's how we were
facts.
conditioned. We don't like the doctor. We just don't like him.
So, but again, this is generational. This ain't just now. Like this is that's the thing. So I'll say this. So I'll ask you this: what do you think it takes for somebody to be able to come to that perspective, or how did it take for you to come to that perspective to be open to talking to somebody and understanding how important that can be?
Trying to understand myself first. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what got me upset? You know what I'm saying? Why am I upset? What brought me to this place? It could be as simple as, oh, my daughter just threw something on the floor. Now I'm furious. But why am I furious for? Am I really that mad? Or is she just being a child? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just, You and that's why we're here to just educate each other and educate everybody that's watching as well. We don't have all the answers, but we can tell you what works, right? For us at least.
Yep.
I seen somebody made a post that says unlearn and be retaught, right? I don't agree with that. Because if you unlearn, are you really forgetting everything that happened? You should take what you have. I'm not saying hold it as a burden, but just better yourself. If you unlearn it, what is that going to prove? Nothing.
I actually I wholeheartedly agree. I think that like, and for me, it took more for me to build on top of what I had, and that self awareness, right? I think people, at least in my opinion, I think it's important to want to know yourself, to want to learn who you are, to want to learn what your triggers are, right? Because at least the way I looked at it is, if I could learn what my triggers are, if I could learn kind of what makes me tick and how I look at things, I can control myself better, right? And we look at those triggers as things that trigger negative activity. I can have a trigger that triggers me to feel extra motivated. You know what I'm saying? So, if I know that, I can control certain things in my life or in my space that make me feel a certain way sometimes. But it takes a whole lot of self-discovery, self-awareness, and being open to learning yourself. It ain't easy, but you got to be open to kind of grow to even achieve that. So I'm with you.
So how do we get on that level where we're opening our mind more vastly? Because let's say, for example, a lot of people are like, and it's very weird. And I'm gonna just bring up this as far as a comparison, right? Let's say, for example, someone up here smokes weed, whatever. They're gonna listen to their boy that say that next strand is good. You get what I'm saying? They're gonna try it out. That's them being open-minded and experimenting. So why do we not treat ourselves that way? Why are we not trying something different? This right here is frustrating me. It's stressing me out. I'm waking up every morning like I want to fight. I'm angry for no reason. I don't know why. So why am I not trying something different? It can't hurt.
I think that's different. I think it's easier for people to write something off and make something and try something simple.
That's a fact. And using
I
different
think you
coping
talking
skills
about
like drinking.
Yeah, I think you're talking about people trying to things with their brain, right? Like I think you want people to grasp concepts they have. What if they ain't think about that concept? Like, what if they bringing? I ain't trying to discover my stuff. You want self-discovery? You want me to think about what happened to me in ninth grade? No. That's what I got. No, nigga, no.
I can tell you the best thing that someone can do in order to figure these things out, right? Spend more time with yourself. Take time for yourself. It's very important. I wake up every morning at 6. Kids are sleeping. They don't wake up until 8, 9. That time I have time to watch my own movies, get my thoughts together, understand this, understand that. Other people look from the outside in. Oh, he got a house. He's chilling. But they don't know what the type of battles I'm going through every day with myself and how I handle it. And they shouldn't know that, because you should deal with those battles within yourself and figure them out first. So why are you going to bring them to somebody else if you can't understand them? So, I mean, I feel like we're about to end this subject. I want to move on to something else. Go ahead. You got one more thing?
All right.
You got something to add?
No, I was going to say, I just think that, like what you're saying is right. It's just easier said than done for a lot of people. I speak for for some reason, I become the person here that speaks for the for those who don't.
That's how it is. You got to, though. And my answers are not based off, they're doing it wrong. I'm just trying to provide different methods and, things that probably work for me and I see that works for other people. Let me know if I should start a podcast, because I've seen a lot of people talking about this and it might happen. So, okay. Anyway, should we talk about friendships? Friends. Well, we can't depend on. No, we're not gonna do that. Oh, okay.
How many of us have them?
9. No, we're not gonna touch base on friendships. You want to talk about the stuff that happened today? About the abortion subject. You want to touch that?
Oh, we can touch Roe versus Wade.
Oh man, I'm gonna let you lead this one off because a lot of it frustrates me.
Oh, okay. You want me to just run into women's business? You're like, hey, G, go face first in the women's business. Hey. So here's either way. Roe versus Wade was overturned. Therefore, we had a whole bunch of states automatically ban abortion immediately, and a whole bunch of other states like, yo, we coming up next. We about to ban all this, right? Had a bunch of, Planned Parenthood like, yo, cancel them. Y'all keeping those babies. In my opinion, all of a sudden you're going to have a bunch of side babies that's going to make it to life and was never going to be here. I probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway.
Okay, continue. Continue, sir.
But either way, the government now banned something that can happen with women's bodies. You're also going to have, unfortunately, a lot more people trying to do abortions at the home, hanger style. It's going to go left. Like, it's a bad, like to me, I'm like, I see the negative potential outweighing the positive. You know what I'm saying? I can't be in women's business because I ain't a woman, but I think that people are going to do whatever they need to do or want to do in certain situations to make certain things happen. So banning that, it's unsafe. It's like, okay, you're going to do this,
The reason why
especially
I
for certain
brought this
circumstances.
subject up, the reason why I brought this subject up, because I had to do a little more digging and research for myself, right, about the whole entire subject. So it clearly states in the law, if it's a crisis or it is a situation where it is rape, abortions are still allowed. That's what
Depends
it
on the
says.
state. Depends on the state.
Depends on the state. The ones that are already approved that they are not doing that, as you know, is places like Idaho, Arkansas, Mississippi. It's a
Yep.
whole bunch of mess. Kentucky, Kansas. As you guys know, what kind of places though. I'm gonna leave those out, and I'm gonna leave that up for you guys to determine. But New York ain't having that, and they're trying to ban contraceptives as well. So Plan B is about to probably be off the market.
Shit.
Um,
Listen, I don't care if you left or right. People can think what you think Donald Trump dropped the Plan B. Listen, they be using it. They act like they don't. They ain't get rid of that. They got side bait. They don't want to play this game. They ain't doing it. I promise you. Listen, they trifling.
Actually, they actually didn't ban it in Texas yet. It's not approved in Texas yet.
Really?
Yeah, it's not in Texas. It's in places like Oregon and
Yeah.
Idaho and Iowa.
Alabama, Tennessee.
Not in Alabama yet.
Okay.
Alabama's not one yet. Not yet. That don't mean it ain't gonna change tomorrow. But
Because Coach Saban got them side. Let me stop. I ain't gonna put that on that man.
right. That's a fact. Sid said, "Bye, G." Arkansas. How can we forget? First of all, Arkansas already has a terrible history. We're not even going to get into that. We know how the whole Emmett Till situation. Let's leave that off for a different topic. All right. So I would never visit Arkansas or Kentucky, and that's just my bottom line.
You ain't gonna go to the Derby? You want to hit the Derby?
I ain't had no damn. The only way I'm going to Kentucky is to get some chicken. I mean, if Jack Harlow can sell it because he's from there, then I'm about to have some chicken. But
I mean, I'm not gonna do that with Jack. I mean,
please don't.
You
Leave him
know,
alone. Leave him alone.
I
But
like Jack.
facts. So I mean, before we need to and the open carry law now in New York.
Woo!
Now,
Yeah.
for those of y'all who know me, I don't live in New York anymore, but Brooklyn, New York is my home, and I have a lot of family still there. And
You live in a state that's open carry anyway, though. So what's it like? That's you. You're there.
yeah,
You
and
relocated to a place
wait,
that's open.
I had a segue, bro. I try to navigate us in there. They still have regulations though. Just because people hear open carry doesn't mean you can walk around and you have a felony with a firearm. They will still lock you up. Just because you hear open carry does not mean you should. I repeat, should. This is their way to get more people into jail to get more money.
So, if in theory, if in places like, would that surprise you for that be the same thing over here? Like, I mean, or in New York, I should say?
Yeah.
That could be the same move, right? If they just remove, think about it this way, it's a trade-off, right? If marijuana is legalized in certain places, they're gonna get those inmates back somewhere. So
Right.
now it's open carry, but now we listen. We gonna make sure that place is legal. It might be in there.
They always try to find a way, and it's honestly going to give you like now. We used to get pulled over and stopped, killed right there. Right now, imagine they pull us over as an open carry state and see it in the car in New York. What's going to happen?
Oof.
Oh, he reached for the gun. That's the excuse. Now you can say it was a gun in the passenger seat.
But they did it anyway, though. Listen, they did it anyway. That's all I'm saying.
Man. Yeah, G's time is almost running up. If anybody else wants to join so we can talk, please invite yourself and we have that conversation. Please follow, add him. He has a lot of stuff going on.
I'm G Dash Jones. I might as well listen. I'm G Dash Jones. With that said, Spell out the dash, DASH. I'll put it in the comments. Y'all know it's me. Bong.
Yes.
Website, DEXDE.net. Peep that all my content, exclusive content, because I do spoken word. I probably do one real quick before I hop off, just because why
Bro,
not?
give him one, bro. Give him one. Give him one real
Yeah,
quick.
I think I'm gonna give y'all one real quick before I hop off of here. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Um, Side note also, yeah, so tomorrow I'm hosting the Visual Vibe Art Show. Boom. I'm sorry, not art show, the Visual Vibe Block Party. Bow. Also the Mental Health and Wellness basketball game. That's at the POW. The Block Party is on 209th Street. So it's on there, West 9th Street. Weed Stock. I'm hosting Weed Stock. That's coming up September. I'm moving and shaking out here. I'm trying to do some things, day by day. Go ahead, hit the website, copper shirt. With that said, go ahead, give me a word. I'm gonna do the poem. What you want me to do, man? Give me a word, bro.
Complications. Let's do that.
Complications. That's what we're going with.
That's what we
I'm
go.
thinking. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Yo, I wish it could be so simple, but I could think back to when it was so simple then. When? Fine. I could go back to my parents' time and act like it was a simpler time because they didn't have social media all on their line all their time with all these things convoluting everything that was going through their mind, but they didn't think that love was the same at that time. Oh, I could say it was simpler, but still be annoyed when they didn't like to respect or appreciate Black Boy Joy. I couldn't smile for shit when I was youth. At least not where I was raised, not where I was coming from. That was sent to be uncouth. That wasn't a smooth move, dude. You about to get robbed for that, just telling the truth. Things were all so simple when. Okay. Things were all so simple when you didn't have to worry about them taking away the contraception, or maybe you didn't have to question whether or not she was able to have an abortion because they told her what to do with her body when. Things were so simple when I didn't have to question all the things that made me me and what's okay for me to be, moving around and what's thought of as acceptable for me because my mentality, I try to keep balanced regularly. But it was simple then, but then if I spoke to somebody and told them I wasn't okay, they would look at me with a grin and be like, boy, you better man up, lift up your chin and tuck that tear in. Okay, I get it. You gave me the word complications, but all I keep thinking about is how I'm living with all these complications because it doesn't seem so simple to me when they are cocking back and razor. At least they can carry it on them openly everywhere they go because they don't care where they spraying. I hope you understand. I'm from a place where they ain't care anyway then. So you can do what you want with that now or whenever. I'm just trying to be honest. Once again, I'm stuck with all these complications.
Let's go, bro. And those are, like I said, he got his website and everything going. Y'all follow him. He does have to go. So we definitely got to do this again. We got to get you back up here. Once everything start rolling. Everybody seems like they love it. So we're going to get it back, bro.
All right, no doubt. All right, Playboy, I'm out of here.
She said snaps. All right, bro.
Appreciate y'all.
I am staying on a little while longer, y'all. So whoever wants to join and want to have a conversation with me, speak to me. We can talk about anything, any subject before I decide to call it a night. So if you want to join, let me know in the comments, or you can just ask me questions and I'll answer them. And no, I'm not going to do what he did. I'm not freestyling. I'll pass. He does a lot of good spoken word. He got a lot of good stuff going for the youth. So that's a good brother right there. Always there when somebody need him. Miss Gonzalez, my pregnant friend. You know you want to get on here and have a conversation with me. You want to explain what? You want to explain that hand, bro? Nah, I mean I do, but you got to hop on live for me to talk about it. I'm not gonna answer it in the comments. Nah, so what happened is I broke it a year ago, and I was cleaning recently, and I banged it on the wall accidentally as I was doing my cleaning situation, and I refractured it. So it ain't looking too good right now. Probably like another week or two to heal, but it's swollen up right here and like inside. So whole thing going on right now. But I mean, if y'all love the topics we talked about, please inbox me some ideas, some topics. I'll do some research. I'm not just gonna come in here blindly. I'm gonna give my ideas, my opinions, and let y'all know some facts, man. Like let y'all know some facts. I feel like this is a good thing we got going. A lot of people aren't touching the topics that we are touching, and if they are, It's never nothing wrong with spreading it to a different audience and, just keep getting that word across, man. Um, for those of y'all who do know me, I do music all the time. I got an album coming out. I'm not gonna reveal the name yet, but it's almost complete. So that brother that was just there, he's probably gonna be on that album. So we gotta get together and figure out some stuff. So I'm gonna be sending mad topics now because this was needed. Send every topic you want. Send a voice note with the topics. Send a message with the topics. Send everything. I'm glad I can, be up here and, you know, I know a lot of people know me for just posting jokes and doing music, but, get to know me a little more. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I post jokes because the world is dark, so we need to laugh. But if y'all don't got nothing else to ask, I'm gonna hop off this. Please share this live. I feel like someone can learn something from this, or even if they have their own opinions, they can leave it in the comment. We're gonna get that rolling. I will try to hop back on here with Monday rolling, my sis. Once she gets everything up and running, we're gonna talk about different subjects, and it's always great to hear from men and women and whoever wants to come up here. I don't care if I'm speaking to a turtle, as long as they up here, right? So I do got a new single out called Ooh La La on Apple Music, iTunes. I had to add, in the segue with that, right? Go stream that and download that, man.